In this video, I wanted to go over a selection in Vpro. A lot of the times we get a set of plans from an engineer or a design build contractor, and they're asking us to do a VRF selection for them. I came across this set of plans. It was sent over to me, and the design build contractor was helpful enough to kind of show how they wanted to break out the zones. So I wanted to go over this set of plans with you in real time to show you kind of my thought process in laying this out and how I go about doing these types of selections in Vpro. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my industry newsletter called HVAC Pulse. I post links and articles and some of my thoughts on the industry. Also give me a follow on LinkedIn. I'll post some of the things that I post on my newsletter on LinkedIn. You can follow me there also. Okay, so here are the plans that I got from the engineer, and these are the as-built from, if you look at the date, they're from 2001. And so it shows the outline of the building, and they've helped us out, and they've labeled the different zones and the actual loads for those zones. So this is a 3-story building. This is Sausalito City Hall up in the Bay Area. Here's the second floor, and here is the ground floor. So 3 different floors, and some of the info that the sales engineer gave us was that this is they want to do heat recovery, and they want to use high wall fan coils on all the spaces. So that kind of makes it easy for us. I just need to figure out how we're going to attack this and how to break it up between the different systems. So you'll see the total tonnages there for each floor, 8.5. And then the second floor is the largest one, 25 tons. And then 11 tons for the ground floor. Right now I'm thinking using an individual system for each floor. Theoretically, you could do it all on one system, but some engineers, they kind of want to shy away from that just because they don't want to put all of their eggs in one basket, and I get that. Another thing to consider, which is why I would put them on different systems, is that ASHRAE 15 and 34 considerations, where depending on the smallest volume room that you have, and depending how much and the size of the system, there's minimum volume requirements for the size of the smallest room. So in the case of a refrigerant leak, all of that refrigerant won't leak into that smallest volume room and potentially harm or kill any occupants. So the way to mitigate that is to separate the system. So if you think about it, having one big VRF system, there's going to be a lot of fan coils, a lot of piping going to those fan coils, and a lot of refrigerant in that one system. So if you break it up into multiple systems, then the total amount of refrigerant in each one of those systems is going to be less. So that means the minimum volume of the room that you can have in this building will also be less. So that means the bigger the room that you're allowed to have. So I'm just going to take a first crack at this. I'm going to open up Vpro and start a new project. Well, it looks like I already started one. And they want to go heat recovery, so let's take a look at this. This is 8.5 tons, and it looks like it's the most of it is these 3 spaces here that total 7 tons, and then they want to condition the hallway. It's a long hallway, 1 ton. I don't know if the best thing to do that is with a high wall, but I don't know what the ceiling situation is like. So I don't know if they have room up in the ceiling. And then they have this lobby. So, and then I don't know if there's diversity, what the peak loads are. Well, I know what the peak loads are. I don't know what the block load is. So usually if I don't know that information, I will assume there is some building diversity.
I'm going to assume 120% connected ratio, and then I'll send it over and they can get back to me if anything needs to be changed. So let's go. So this is the third floor. I'll start from the top and then go down. So let me change this to 8.5. We'll multiply that by I'll divide by 0.8. So let me see. I'm trying to figure out 120%. I don't like doing public math. So let's see. So yeah, if you figure, let's see, 6 times 1.2. So we're still kind of short there. Yeah, if we go with the 6 ton and 100, we can always change it. So let's see what where we're at when we get, if we just select a 6 ton. I believe it was 460 volt. Let me double check. Let's see, Sean. Okay, 208 3-phase. So let's call this HP3. Okay, and then it looks like based on the zone, so there's, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate fan coils. So that means we can get rid of this. And then just use one. Yeah, so we have a 4 and then an 8. I wonder if we can get away with using single port boxes somewhere. Because I don't, if it's 5, I kind of want to use a single port box somewhere. So it looks like I'm going to assume I'm going to use a single port box either for the lobby or the hallway. I'm leaning towards the hallway, and then have the lobby and these rooms on the same box. Just thinking, I'm not going to lay it out perfectly, but just thinking of how I'm going to group these. So let's assume, so we're going to have to go back to the Y branch and then use a single port box. It's going to be a small one, so we'll go with that one, and then a 4-port. Four-port box. They want to use high walls. So what's 7 divided by 3? About a little over a 2 ton for each. Let's see. See, I don't know what the loads are for each individual one of these rooms are. So it looks like there's 3 different rooms. I'm going to assume this is going to be 2, 2, and 3. They can always come back and we can change it. So let's get our high wall. We'll call this 2 ton. Hit OK. 2 ton. And we'll do a 3 ton for this one. I'll call that on the Friends of the Library. Can't spell today.
And then these ones were Historical Society. Call it 1. Two. And then I will put the lobby on this one. And then we'll put the hallway on the single port box. So the lobby is a 1/2 ton. So 7,000, that's fine. Let me label it for the lobby. And then the hallway is a 1 ton. Now I'll put in my notes when I send this all over that the high wall is probably not the best choice for the hallway. If they have the space, if they have the ceiling for it, I would recommend either a ceiling cassette or a one-way cassette. But just for this first run, just go with the high wall, just like they asked. So we're at 143%. Let me see if we'll do the system check. So it will allow it, but I don't know what the block load is. So it may or may not work in real life. Let me just bump it up just to be safe. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And if there's enough diversity, then we can change it. But it's going to be the same frame size, so there won't be much of a savings. Don't know what the weights are, but we'll just leave it at that for now. So let me rename this HP3 so it all is nice and organized. And let's do the second floor. So this one's going to be a bigger one. Capacity is 25 tons. So go with this one for now. All right, so let's see how we're gonna break this up. So north is to the right, so might split this up. I'll split this up this way. So, okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I will stick these hallways here, and I'll split this up between 2 1 tons just because of the way it's shaped, maybe. Yeah. Since we have an 8-port box, that's how I'll do it. And then for the other side, you know, these, I don't know how they want to split these up in terms of offices, because if it's a high wall, you know, these are, you know, city manager, I'm pretty sure he would want to control his own unit. Yeah. You know, I will just, I don't know how they want to split this up, right? So I'm just going to stick a 2-ton for this and ask them to break it down even further because I don't want to make any assumptions. And 2 tons is not a lot. I would argue that if they have the space, you know, duck this somehow. So yeah, I'm just gonna, so 1, 2, 3. Here's another one with a ton of offices. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to assume again. Okay. Let me just do as I go. All right. So we'll use the 8-port box on that. So it would be the east side. So 1.5 ton. I'll call this one the lobby. And then 6 tons. So I could do either, oh, I didn't even think about that. So it'll be 1, I got to split this up. So maybe might have to go 3 different boxes. But this you can, I'd like to group these onto single set of ports. Okay, yeah, I can do that. So let's do that. So this will be for the library. So just use, I can do either 2 3-tons. It's a pretty big area. Like 1 on each side or 2 on each side. This is not going to be pretty, but let's just do it that way. So used up 2 ports. I could, technically I could do, yep, I could do this. So when I group these off of 1 port, you can group, I think it's up to 8, 6 or 8, and as long as they don't go over 5 tons. Ah, dang it, I'm at 6. So yeah, I can't do that. So I have to do what I was originally planning to do. Okay. We will do, you know what, let's just do it this way. 2 3-tons. 2 3-tons. I can edit it again if they want me to. So I'll call this library. You know, there's 2 of them, so I'll just call it A. And then library B. Okay. 2 offices, so that's easy, 1 ton each. So city librarian, and then the other one is called staff work area. Staff work area. These ones I want to group them off the same controller. So since they're serving the same space, they're on the same. They could be on the same controller. Kitchen, half a ton. Kitchen. Conference room, 1 ton. Oops. Conference room, 1 ton, and then hallways. I'll stick the hallways on this. So 2 tons. So I'll do 1 ton each, and then call it hallway A and hallway B, and then stick those on the same group also. Hallway B, and then what? Oh, shoot. Yeah, these could technically, I can branch them together, and then they would be on the same control group. Okay, let's do that. Insert a Y branch, and then put another 1 ton, and then now I can group it with group 8, which is the other fan coil, and then call this one hallway B. Mid lowercase. All right. And then that one, I do have an extra port, but I'm thinking if I should put the council chambers on. I can do it. Let's just do it. Since I do have that extra port. All right. So I will have to add a Y branch, because I have offices, copy room, offices, and hall. I did the hallways already. So it's just the offices and the copy room on the other. Yes, I don't. Well, I'm just going to. I'm not going to assume. So I'm just going to get them what they're asking for, and then they can adjust it as they see. So let's just call this offices. They want a 2 ton. I'll just call it south, just so they know which ones I'm talking about. And then offices, 7.5 tons. So we have to split that up anyways. I mean, I could do it the way I did it on the other one, where I did I did 2, 2, and 3. So 2, 2, and 3. Yeah, that's all I need, right? Oh, I have the copy room. I didn't do the copy room yet. So I can split it up into 2. That's 1/3 of a ton. That's tiny. Yeah, we don't even have anything that small. So usually what I'll do is I'll make notes for this project. So I let the engineer, the sales engineer, know what I came across, and kind of give some explanation behind the logic of how I laid this out. So and some of our, so like for example, the copy room is 1/3 of a ton that they asked for, but our smallest is so what is that, 3/4, little over half a ton, which is fine. But I just be sure to point that out. Copy room. And then for the offices, 7.5 divided by 2 is, so I would still have to split this up into 3 different fan coils. So let me just change this to an 8. Yeah, I could have done the other thing where put a single. Yeah, that might be better. Let me change this. I'll change it back to a 4. And I'll take the copy room out for now. So this will be the offices. So we did it 2, 2, and 3. So we'll call this offices A. So we'll do 2, 2, and 3. Call that B. And then 1/3, a 3-ton. Office is C. Hit OK. And then I'm going to add a Y branch right there, and then stick a for the copy room. See, I wonder if I can get away with cooling only. Then I don't need the single port box, because if you think about it, a copy room, there's machines. It's probably never going to go into heating, so you can save a flow selector box there. So I'll say that cooling only. So that saves us some hardware, which saves us in cost and installation, right? So I'll just leave that as cooling only. So what I did there, if I didn't have this checked, it would automatically do the flow selector box. So it could do heating or cooling, but I'm assuming this is going to be cooling only. It's a copy room, so I will check that and it gets rid of the box. So let's call this HP2. Let's look at our connection ratio. We're at 103%, which, yeah, we don't know what the block loads are, so I'm not able to change that or adjust that. We do system check. I like to do this after I put together a system just to see if there's anything that the software doesn't like. I'm not doing any line lengths right now, just because this is just for pricing. So I'm going to do this ground floor now. This one looks a little bit easier. So 12 or 11 tons. I'm just going to go with a 10-ton. Call this HP1. Let's see how many zones there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll do an 8 port. This one's pretty straightforward. And everything is 3 tons or below. So our largest high wall is a 3-ton, so that just makes it easier. So let's I can do this pretty quickly. Sometimes I like to just get all the fan coils in there, and then I'll go back and label them after. So 3, 3, and then half ton, then a 1 ton, and then another half, and then another 1 ton. You can actually do this to save yourself some time. And then a 2 ton. And that's it. Right? Because everything looks like. So that is Senior Citizen Center. Then this will be multi-purpose room, so I'll just call it NPR. Then game room. Office. So let's just, it can just be generic office. Office. Lobby and recreation director. Lobby. Oops. Okay. So this one was the lobby, right? Yeah. Lobby. I skipped one. And then this one is the recreation director. Okay, and then add an end cap to cap that last one. We're at 112, which I'm okay with. Rename HP1. Do a system check. Okay. As far as central controller, depending on your customer, we do have a central controller. It looks like this project is pretty simple. I don't know if they're gonna, if there's a central BMS. I don't know, or if they're gonna control different pieces of equipment like an exhaust fan or a DOAS. But you could throw on a central controller. You would do that here. I know my customer likes to use Cool Automation for central controllers, so I'm just going to leave that blank. As far as controls, this is the wiring diagram. By default, the software gives you the default controller. I'm just going to leave that as is. If they want to change it, we can change it after the fact. But this looks pretty good for a first run. I think the main, if there's going to be any questions or any changes, it's going to be on the second floor since everything is so complicated over there. But I'm going to hit save. And then I'll go to the report and then something to send over to the engineer or the customer. I hit export and send everything over. And then the nice thing about Vpro is that you can just share it with whoever you need to share it with. So I will send it to Ryan because he's going to need to bring it into Quote Pro. So I will share it and then share it with Ryan. Hit OK. And then I will go ahead and reply to this email with this. I'll save it. Save it to my files. Sausalito Center Hall. And then I will compress that and send it over. And then when I type up the email, I'll give them the notes that I was taking down, some of the thought process and the logic behind why I did what I did. And then if they need any changes or they have any questions, to go back to their engineer or design build contractor and let them know this is what we came up with. If you want to need any changes, let us know. The offices are the main thing because there's different offices. High walls are meant to be serving a single space. It doesn't make sense to have a high wall serving a group of offices like that. So that's obviously going to change, but don't know what the loads are in those rooms. So I'll just leave it the way it is right now. So I will send that over to them. I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough of a selection in Vpro. Just wanted to give you an idea of a real world example of a customer giving you a set of plans and kind of zoning it out on how they wanted to serve those different areas, and how I basically attack and approach when a set of plans is given to me like that. If you enjoy this content or got some value out of that, please share it with somebody that you know. If you could do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below and subscribe to my channel. And thanks all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks. Up. Come here. Got a visitor.